a little far away. Say it
Okay.
again.
I said, welcome to the Gym Mafia podcast. I said today we're gonna be talking about felony murder. Where you want to begin?
It's where we want to begin. I mean, it starts now. This felony murder needs to be abolished in Maryland, man. You know, it's a very unconstitutional charge.
Right.
It's very unjust, and it's disingenuous with Maryland's law, Maryland state law.
A lot of people don't know what felony murder. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. My apologies. What I was going to say was a lot of people don't even know what felony murder is. I didn't know what felony murder is, at least the name of the charge, until I spoke to you the first time. And in my research, I found that it'd be so unfair. I seen a story where a guy let his roommate borrow his car keys, and the roommate went to his girlfriend's house to rob the house. The roommate ended up murdering the girlfriend, beat her with the butt of the shotgun, killed her. He had no knowledge of the crime, nothing. He just let his roommate borrow the car. So the DA in his case, you know, everybody knew that he didn't commit the murder. But what the DA said was if it wasn't for the car, there wouldn't be no crime. This happened in Florida. They ended up giving him life in prison. 19 years into his sentence, it got turned by the governor, and then they amended the law, well, at least tried to amend the law to have a 15-year cap on felony murder. And they end up giving him 25 years.
That's one of the most heinous examples of a felony murder charge.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, like what people base it, what people call this, like it's a guilty by association charge, whereas though you can be involved in one separate incident and something else happened outside of the incident you were involved in,
right?
And you are culpable for that whole situation just because you was involved in this first part of the incident. Like it's not where as though you were held accountable for your own actions.
Right.
Like it turns one person's actions into everybody's actions. So in the law we was taught that we were supposed to be accountable for the things that we do and any crime or offense that we commit.
Right.
But in the felony murder rule, you're accountable for an act like Slim that he didn't even know occurred.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's unconstitutional, unjust, and is in most cases racially handed out. Like there's more black and brown people that receive felony murder than anybody.
Yeah, because they don't have to charge it.
Yeah, it's used as a tool to get easy convictions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they don't have to prove that you were actually intending to murder a person. They just have to prove that you was in accordance with a separate crime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And a death occurred during that crime. You know what I'm saying? So it's very unjust, very unconstitutional, and very leaning towards just incarcerating our black youth, our black and brown youth. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot of the people that end up with these charges. You know what I'm saying? Like most of the people, they caught these charges when they was in their teens.
Right. That's what I was about to say. That's the common thing in all the cases that I've seen. They was 18 years old, 17 years old. He was 20, 22. Like, come on. I am not the same person I was 20 years ago. Not the same person.
And to condemn,
and
to condemn a person for the rest of their life to prison for a crime they didn't even commit.
Exactly. On top of that,
murder they didn't even commit.
Right.
It's crazy. And it's crazy about it is the actual person that commits the murder can be home, and the person who didn't even kill anybody will still be in prison for the rest of their life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a ridiculous
because
rule.
The rules still apply. That's how crazy it is.
Yeah. Right.
But let me say this then. And I have an example, and Wes, I'm glad you shared that, Wes, because you hit a lot of good points. I have an example, and I know my wife have an example of another case from the Maryland Daily Record. But the example that I have, it was some young teenagers. I believe it was 4 of them. I think one was 17, 2 was 16, and one was 18, something like that. However, there was a 17-year-old getaway driver who was parked outside of a home while his friends was inside burglarizing the home. I think they was going to steal an Xbox or something along the lines of that, some type of electronics or something. However, while they was inside burglarizing the home, I guess one of the local authority members had pulled up and I guess got out to approach the guy that was in the getaway driving while he was sitting in the vehicle. And then he panicked. He panicked when they walked up on him or whatever. He hit the gas. And him, on his attempt to flee, ended up running the officer over and killing the officer.
Right.
Do you know that every one of them got charged with murder? Even the guys that was in the house that didn't know what happened outside, that didn't have a clue that what was going to happen outside,
Right.
but they still got life in prison for murder.
That they didn't
and I
commit.
think that, like Wes was saying earlier, it's like 2,000, and I want to say 225 or 2,250 lifers in Maryland. Do you know 80% of them are black?
Wow.
The overall prison population in Maryland is 78% black, while the overall population of Maryland in general is 31% black. If someone don't see something wrong with this, maybe they need to check to see what.
I see a lot of things wrong with it, and I still see the assembly line that's sending them right in there that ain't changed. Yeah, you absolutely right. It's definitely something wrong with it. It's definitely something wrong with it. Like, prime example, not to go too far off topic, but like I don't ever see no other groups of people out there like Squeegee Boys or this, that, and the third, all the things that we have to do to try to survive. It's only us. By everybody else, other groups, they're going to college, going to school because it's designed that way. You understand what I'm saying? It's not designed that way for us. We got to survive, and these conditions and circumstances, we make a mistake at a young age before we get to know better. Prime example, what we're talking about now, just to get an Xbox or something to eat or whatever, just, you're not thinking I'm going to hurt somebody because I need a couple of dollars, but something happened. Or let's say a hypothetical case where, the police start shooting at y'all, shoot somebody else and kill them. In some states, that falls under felony murder if they don't have the red line. Also seen that they say one in every 5 prisoners is locked up for felony murder. Well, that has murder. That's a lot. And we know who the majority of those people are.
Even if we still gonna stick with the racial disparities, we can look at the insurrection, the January 6th insurrection. We had a group of guys. They was called the Proud Boys. Of course, they was all Caucasian brothers, but they was with a group called the Proud Boys. Their intent was to storm and burglarize our nation's capital. Man, hundreds of people got hurt. Hundreds and hundreds of people got hurt. Our honorable service members, 6 or 7 police officers got killed.
Yeah.
Do you know that no one was charged with felony murder?
And that's
when
it should apply.
Alarming. Like, you mean that they stormed the nation's capital, hurt people, and killed people with the intent to burglarize this place and steal documents. And during this act, during the burglary, man, 6 police officers died. No one was charged with felony murder. Like, how is that possible that no one,
Right.
And had it been the other way around, most of the people wouldn't have made it into the capital.
Yeah, we know that.
What I'm saying? They would have been shot out.
Right.
Yeah, like, so these are the things that we have to deal with when we think about felony murder. It's so, and it affects women the same way. It's more women locked up for felony murder, I believe, than anything. Because, if they with their boyfriend and their boyfriend get into it with somebody and they die and now they're a part of it and they ain't really have nothing to do with it.
Right.
So felony murder is not only affecting young black men, but it's also affecting a lot of our women as well. And I know my wife knows she know another example that we can give y'all from the Maryland Daily Record, if she don't mind sharing it with us.
Yeah, I'll share. So it was, I believe, June 30th, 2022. This came out in the Maryland Daily Record. They told a story about, or it was an article about a young boy, 20 years old. He was at a party, and at this party, he learned that his friends wanted to rob a local drug dealer. So he lent his friend the keys and went to sleep. So during this robbery that his friends committed, someone lost their life. he woke up the next day to not an accessory to the robbery or even an accessory to the murder, but he was charged with felony murder and received a life sentence in prison. He was not there. He had no prior knowledge of what was going to happen.
Right.
He wasn't even there when the crime was committed.
Right.
But still, he was charged with murder, and now he's serving a life sentence in prison. I mean, it's unjust and it's not right.
It's not right. It's not right
At
at all.
all.
It's unfortunate. What other
It
steps you think we
definitely
could
is.
take to change it? What do we need to do as a people to rally to change it? Where do we start? When we got this many people being sentenced and getting their life taken away from them at a young age when they don't know no better or just made a simple mistake or just not knowing. How is this a thing that's not getting addressed? Why people ain't picketing in the streets? You think people feel like, well, you know...
Right now.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right now, man, like it's a time right now where we can look to change it, right? We got a lot of things going on that we just need people behind us. We need the public to see what this is and see how corrupt and unjust it is and rally to abolish this practice. And I'm saying, like we got bills Greg go up in front of the House and the Senate, you know what I'm saying, that's trying to reform this felony murder doctrine. And at the time, like right now, the way it's written, it doesn't affect the people that this rule has already affected. So what we trying to do is we trying to rally the troops, rally our people to get them to put it in a fashion where it does affect the people that this rule is already unjustly affected and took away decades of their lives. It's a lot of these guys that caught these charges, like we said earlier, with 17, 15, 16, 20, 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? At a time where though they was impulsive. That it's clinically proven that you don't think right at those times. You're not able to process the consequences of certain actions.
Correct.
Or you don't know the weight of certain actions. And when you roll in a group setting, you're not thinking that, and especially you're not thinking that something like this going to happen. Like you go to rob a store or go steal something, you ain't thinking that somebody going to die. You know, you're not thinking that far ahead. You're just trying to go in there, like they say, steal the Xbox. You know what I'm saying? Take the Xbox, go home and play the game. That's what the thought was. You know what I'm saying? But kids lose their lives.
I remember one time
that they made in their teenage years.
It's just funny,
you know?
like you just took me.
What we trying to do?
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Go ahead, bro.
No, when you were speaking, right?
I said what we trying to do.
No, go ahead. I don't know. It might be a little delay. You go ahead and finish your thought.
Oh, I was saying. So what we trying to do is get people to see that this bill that we fighting for shouldn't only apply from that day on, but it should apply from that day back too.
Right. Everybody should be grandfathered in.
Right of injustice.
Right.
Right of injustice that's been done for decades. You know what I'm saying? Like this rule in the places that it came from England.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's been abolished in England since like 1957 or something because
Yeah.
they knew that it was unjust. It's been abolished in several other states because they know that it's unjust.
In other countries as well.
One of the few states that's holding on to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's a tool for them to capture black bodies and hold them forever. So we gotta get our people to fight with us, man. We got this bill coming up March the 2nd and 13th. I think is that what it is, y'all?
14th.
Yeah, the 2nd and 14th, I mean.
2nd and 14th, you know what I'm saying? And we trying to rally the truth. We trying to rally the people that know that this is a very unjust practice and that we can do something to change it.
What do we need to
do? We don't have
do?
to just sit on the sideline and
Right.
That's fucked up.
What can I do?
We actually can do something.
With like a person like me.
I think I may have a answer to chime in a little bit on what Wes saying. Is that when we say we try and rally the troops, I mean there's ways that the family members can get involved by going to the Maryland General Assembly website and simply just create create an account. Go to the witness section, the witness testimony section. Click onto there and actually create an account. What will happen once you create the account? You will put your email in and your password. They will send you a confirmation. You will confirm that confirmation from your email, and then you will go online. I guess go back onto the website, and the day before, I believe you can vote, but it has to be the day before all the way up until that day. You can vote. And if you wanted to offer some specific testimony, you can offer testimony orally, or you can offer it written. You can write testimony and upload it onto a file or whatever, and upload it to the Maryland General Assembly website. Your testimony can simply be, I support this bill with amendments to affect those who the harm has already been done to, or I support this bill with amendments for retroactivity. And I think what Wes was speaking about was the fact that you have so many men and women that's here that's already have done over decades and decades of time for felony murder. In majority of those cases, them people didn't have weapons. Like the case we just gave y'all, that's 3 guys right there. These are real cases we are talking about.
Right.
That's 3 guys right there that didn't have a weapon, didn't know nothing about a killing, but all of them got life. And there's numerous cases like that. Numerous cases. So this ain't the only case. It's designed to get groups of people. It's a trap. When you can say, okay, all of y'all getting locked up for murder, no matter who had an intent to kill, even though the death was accidental. We running out of a store, we dropped a gun, somebody dropped a gun and hit an innocent bystander, they died. Everybody get murdered. Stuff like that. I believe that taking someone's life, there needs to be accountability.
Right.
And I believe that wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? I believe life is the most precious right on earth, and should no one be denied that. I don't care if you broke, homeless, ain't got nothing, that's better than being dead. Because tomorrow, it can always be better. And we know that. But at the same time, when we look at this on the other end of the spectrum, it's like, damn, like, to violate that right there should be a punishment. But if I didn't violate that right, why am I doing a life sentence? Now, I have 16 years in day for day. So, in the event that this is changed from life to second-degree murder, which this possibly can happen for those who was convicted under 25, I got convicted at 20. And 40 years plus 16, that leaves me with still 24 more years to do. But it's not a life sentence.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So the mere fact that I still have a chance to continue to fight and progress and work on growth and development and education and all the important things to help prepare and make a safe transition, the most successful transition into society. I mean, that's cool, but when you're saying life, I didn't kill anyone, come on, man. Like, that's extremely hard to swallow. That pill is hard. You know, you have to live day in and day out. I'm going through these struggles with this. You know what I'm saying? So we need all the support we can get from the families and the communities. You know what I'm saying? To call the legislators, write to the legislators, email to the legislators, show up in Annapolis. March 2nd is the hearing for House Bill 1180, the Youth Accountability and Safety Act. It's House Bill 1180 on March 2nd at 1 p.m. is the hearing. The more people we can get to come out, the more people we can get to go online and create an account and provide either testimony or click favorable that they like the bill, House Bill 1180 favorable with amendments. The more chances we have of making an impact. We have a progressive governor now. You know, we have majority in the House and the Senate. So there's no reason why we can't get this done. I think this is a good time now, but I think that we need to educate the public more, and the public needs to be involved more to help some of these men and women out there sitting back here behind these walls that has been forgotten or even deemed broken and irreparable when they haven't committed the most heinous act in the world. I think it needs to be some light brought to this.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm definitely going to make my account and whatever I can do, and I'm going to educate the people around me. I was just thinking when you was talking about the juveniles, I thought about one little dumb little incident I had. Well, I had a few of them, but we was going to rob a store one day, right? We probably like 14, 15. We had an empty shotgun, no bullets in it. We went in the store every single day. Every day. We knew it. I don't know what happened. We got my sister boyfriend worked at like a laundry place. So he would bring home jumpsuits. So we put all these different colored jumpsuits, walk down the alley to the corner, one up in the store. And we had masks on and everything. We knew he kept a gun in there. But at the last minute we froze up. It could have been a situation like that where we would have called ourselves carrying that through. Store owner would have called out bluff, shot one of us. We just wanted some weed. We ain't want to hurt nobody. We just wanted money for weed, you know. And in a situation like that, somebody could have got killed. One of us probably. And I don't know how the law is in Maryland, far as in like somebody else killing somebody in the commission of us committing a felon. Would that apply? But I know in some states it do. I know we not the only savages everywhere doing stupid stuff and making mistakes or just trying to get a few dollars. Everybody not a big time person, you know, and people just make mistakes. And a lot of times people don't have no intentions on hurting people. I seen a story similar to what I'm saying where, you know, two guys go to rob people, went out to rob or whatever, and they agreed not to bring no weapons, so I guess they was going to strong arm. And then one of them had a knife, ended up stabbing a lady to death or something like that, naked life. The guy ended up coming home. I think in one of the states where I forgot, I think it was I just seen it. But anyway, he ended up coming home, and now this is his fight, trying to get people out of prison for crimes they didn't commit. You know, murder they didn't commit, fighting the felony murder. So y'all definitely got my support in any and everything I could do. I mean, this platform ain't big, but it's a place to voice it, to speak your truth. And we're gonna push this message. I'm gonna do what I gotta do for March the 2nd. I'm gonna definitely create my email. Not create my email, create my account. But what would you have to say to any opponents against the amendments to the law or the law being put past to get rid of it altogether? Because there's a lot of opponents out there that feel like, well, you know, they shouldn't have been doing this, they shouldn't have been doing that, even though the person in the situation didn't intend on hurting anybody. Like what we talked about the Xbox situation. You know, it's people that out there that really feel like, yeah, they deserve to be in there. What would you say to those people?
To our opponents, man, people that oppose this action, man, we'll just say like we understand like that when you commit an act that you should be held accountable.
Right.
And that's basically what we asking for. We ask to be held accountable for the things that we did. You know what I'm saying? Like we understand that you know, when you commit a crime, you're supposed to have a punishment. And, and we accept our role in the things that we was convicted of. A lot of guys accept their role. A lot of guys, you know, it's instances where guys go and commit a burglary, and the person in the house shoot one of the guys committing the burglary, and they get felony murder.
Right.
Because the guy, the homeowner, killed one of the robbers, one of the people that was, you know what I mean? So, if I was burglarizing the house, I did that, but I didn't kill nobody. So why should I be held accountable for a murder I didn't do? You know what I'm saying? So we asking that. Right. We asking to be punished.
Right.
For the things that we did.
And that's fair.
We committed a robbery, a burglary, what have you done. That's all we asking. You know what I'm saying? We think that's just.
I think that's a great answer.
That a lot of these guys, that's been in prison for all these years, they've grown up in prison. Like the mindset that they had when they was young is far beyond that.
Right.
These guys could be instrumental parts to society now. These guys with college degrees, trades, different psychology classes and things of that nature. You know what I mean? Like guys that's mentors, that mentor people that's left here and went home and became major contributors to society. So they can be that as well. So they just need a chance. Everybody wants a second chance. Nobody can say they never made a mistake and didn't want to be able to recover from that mistake.
Right.
So that's what we asking. We asking for humility, for people to be human and to humanize the people that's behind these walls. People behind these walls are not animals. They're men and women who made mistakes. We want a chance to become productive members of society. The things that we had dreams too. We made mistakes and we've been punished for those mistakes. but we being punished for mistakes that we didn't even do. And we being punished for actions we didn't even commit. So that's what we asking for. Punish us, but punish us for what we did.
Right.
And my perspective on that specifically is that, like Wes said, one should definitely be punished for the crime that they committed, not the crime that someone else committed. And when we look at the science that Wes was talking about earlier, the brain science, it says that anyone who's under 24, they're not culpable of the crime that they committed. They lack the culpability of that. So if you're under 24 and you with a group of people that's under 24 and someone else accidentally kills somebody while y'all going to rob a store, like I said, there's an example of a guy who, him and his friends was robbing a guy. The guy had a heart attack. They didn't have a weapon. They didn't kick him. They didn't punch him. They didn't stab him. He died from a heart attack. He had preconditioned heart problems. You know what I'm saying? He died from a heart attack, I guess from the fear. They were sentenced to life in prison, all three of them. So it be situations like this where we understand that there has to be, you know,
you have 60 seconds remaining.
My phone about to hang up. I'm gonna try to call right back. But there has to be some type of accountability, and we understand that. But why do everyone gets life in prison if someone else did the murder or accidentally killed someone? That should be the person that gets the most time. Majority of the time, like Wes said, the person who does the actual killing be gone free, while the other people still here. You know, because they get the first degree murder and they get to say, well,
you have 30 seconds remaining.
Mitigating factors the second because, you know, I was in the heat of a passion or I was in it's different type of ways that you can reduce it to second. But with felony murder, all they got to do is prove that you was involved with the felony and you get life with no intent. So I'm gonna try to call right back to finish my thought.
Okay. And the thing is, a lot of these, they say that the law is supposed to be as a deterrent, right? And, you know, and the justification is to say, well, you know, they shouldn't be doing this or trying to do that anyway. But we see who it affects the most. Us. And you don't hear none of these brothers over here denying accountability. Everybody say, yes, hold us accountable for what we do, but for what we do, not for what other people do. So nobody's trying to duck or dodge any punishment that they deserve, but nobody should be punished unjustly. Nobody, like when I was 20 years old, when I was 18 years old, when I was 21, I didn't have the same mindset that I have now. Go ahead, finish your thoughts, brother.
Okay, and like I was saying is that there has to be accountability, and I think everyone understands that, especially the person with a conscious mind and the person with some type of understanding of life. And for our opponents, of course, their thing is that we don't want to let these people out, these people convicted of murder. But I think once they understand what felony murder is and how these people are convicted, and they really understand, like, he shouldn't be punished for life for that. I mean, being resentenced to second-degree murder, that's, if you got 15 years in, you still got 25 more years to do because you got 40 years. So that's still a long, long, long time.
Yeah.
But it gives you another chance to get back out there and for redemption, you know, to live out your life for whatever its purpose was.
Right.
You know, and if the courts may feel as though, okay, well, our courts are going to be backed up. No, what we can do is we can put a year time limit on this. You know, that year time limit, not only does it help benefit us to say, okay, we get a year to file to say, okay, modify our sentence or simply just change our commitment records from first degree to second degree murder and give us into a judgment of guilty for 40 years. But it will also allow the states for all the cases that they have that they're about to go to trial with theories of felony murder to finish them theories out. That sets a deadline for them to say, okay, well, I've been working on this case for 2 years and I go to trial next month. If you abolish it right now, I'm not going. Now I got to go back and redo my evidence and rebuild my case. I'm not understanding it because I get it from both sides.
Right.
So we set a time limit, which give us a year, all the way until September 30th, 2024. Got everybody a year to file. At that date, felony murder can no longer exist in Maryland for those who was under 25. Then now it also gives the court and the states time to what? Present their cases and finish the cases in the trials they already had for felony murder. So everyone benefits.
Right.
But from that day forward, there's no more felony murder for the guys who lack the culpability for their own selves, let alone being punished for the culpability of their friends.
Right.
So for you to say that, okay, I'm under 25, I lack the culpability to create, to commit first degree murder, but you're saying I could be sentenced to life because my friend killed somebody. If I can't lack the culpability for my own crime, how is it possible that you're saying that I'm guilty of a crime that someone else committed? A murder or accidental homicide that someone else committed. And I get life for that? That's like very, very hard. And we just hope that our opponents would actually see it from that perspective. And I can understand that you got victims and people who lost their lives and have to live with the grief and the pain and destruction that have been caused by these acts.
Right.
And we can't forget about that. I think that has to be brought to the attention. But at the same time, 4 years is a long time, man. Alone for a person, like I said, they got 15 years. They got 25 more years to do. If they haven't changed in that 15 years, that other 25, they're going to change something.
Right. But then ain't that's the point of accessory? Like, what's the point of felony murder, though? Like, that's the point of accessory. Like, granted, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's the thing.
Like, it's
That's
unnecessary.
Murder,
it's unnecessary, though. You know what I mean?
With felony murder, if you don't need the instruction, I'm gonna give you the instruction on felony murder so you and the listeners can hear how easy the conviction is. In order to convict someone of felony murder, you must find that the defendant or someone participating with the defendant committed or attempted to commit a felony. That's all they have to prove. So whether it's you, if you didn't do it, if someone else with you did it, committed a felony or attempted to commit a felony, whatever the felony may be, rape, burglary, arson, kidnapping, mayhem, carjacking, any type of felony. Whether you did it or someone else with you that did it, you're guilty of felony murder. How? This is the only crime in Maryland that allows you to be convicted without an intent. The only crime, without a mens rea and an actus reus, without the guilty mind. You could be convicted of felony murder. You don't have to prove anything, no intent to kill or nothing. And you get life in prison. Even if you didn't have a weapon, you was just dead. But then when we look at the flip side, we look at second-degree murder. This murder allows for someone to be sentenced to 40 years that had a weapon, that intended to kill, that meant to take someone's life. And all they get is second-degree murder for 4 years. But then you got somebody who didn't have a weapon at all and didn't intend to kill anyone, they get life.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with our laws?
Yeah, that's backwards.
This is our state.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is our state.
Right.
So felony murder is disingenuous with the law.
Yes. I mean, when you broke it down like that, just giving a second-degree murder versus felony murder, like, wow, he'll come home.
Yeah.
He coming home. You not. Because I got, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Right. And you think somebody got locked up at 20 years old and they got to do 40 years, they coming home at 60. You don't have no more life left. You don't have no more mistakes left. You don't have no more trying to fit in left. You don't have no more getting high, going to hang out with the wrong crowds left.
Nah. You be lucky if you had family left. You be lucky if you had somebody left alive, depending on, you just don't know. Everybody, that's a long time.
Is there anything else anybody else want to say in regards to the opponent saying it from a different perspective?
Well, I'm gonna say this, like, that was, the only, I don't have any pushback, because I agree with you 1,000%. But you always gotta play devil's advocate in a sense, right? What would you like? Is it any pros to it? We know the cons, right? We just went over the cons, but is it any pros to this? Like, let's say like somebody drove somebody to go kill your kid, right? Knowingly. Do you think, like, in an emotional state where you feel like they should be charged with it too?
That's what I'm saying. This
That's
type
but
of people get to argue the mitigating factors
right.
to second degree to have it. See, the thing about first degree murder, being charged with first degree murder, you can argue mitigating factors and have it reduced to second degree.
Right.
Manslaughter.
Right.
Involuntary manslaughter. You
Right.
got all lesser degrees of murder.
Right.
With
Right.
felony murder, only thing you get to say is he did it, not me.
Yeah.
And then you
It's
do
not
that,
fair.
you know how you gotta live from there.
Right.
It's not fair, man. It's
No.
nothing you can say. Like you can't say, well, man, we was high off drugs
Right.
and an accident happened. We didn't know it was gonna happen. Oh, that's life in prison. But
Right.
the person that goes and kills because he walked in the house and somebody's in there with his wife. That's heat of passion. That's like depraved heart murder. That's something different. That's not even an accidental killing. That's like, I'm about to kill you.
Yeah.
And they only get 40 years. You know what I'm saying? So I
And you
think
can let-
like that's the difference, and I think that's what we need to look at when it comes to felony murder.
Right.
You guys hold on 1 second, because I didn't see my other phone ringing, and I don't think Wes and them are online. Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
And I got my ring off. I think I got a missed call from them as well. You really nailed that one. Thanks for giving the two, drawing the distinction between the two, because that's important for people to know, because a lot of people ain't going to look at it through that lens. Wow. I can normally, you know what, I'm going to go shoot the block up. You know, I'm going to do this, do that. I'm out to ride on my enemies. And I get 25 years, you know, or I get a number. But if I borrow your keys and I go do something right, I might not even get life. But, you know, if it wasn't for the car, it wouldn't be a crime. That's crazy.
Hey, Wes, I don't know what the last thing y'all heard. But the last thing I was just explaining to him was that, you know, for felony murder, even if you didn't kill or have a weapon, you know, or an intent to kill or anything, you receive life.
Hold on.
All right.
Yeah, echo.
Oh my God. Hello? Oh my goodness.
I think you got him too close.
I think so.
Oh, we
got
okay. It's two different phones.
Yeah.
We doing good with that. If everybody can hear each other.
It's the struggle. Hold on
Yeah,
a
it
second.
is.
I'm
But
sorry.
we making it happen. This is serious, man. You really put it in perspective with that. That really brought it to perspective. Somebody could come home, second degree murder, and hence felony murder. Somebody spend the rest of their life in jail, ain't even do anything. That's
so
yeah.
unfair, man.
It is.
So unfair.
And it's so easy to get in that predicament, though. It's so easy to get in that.
And it's and you know, at them ages, man, you know, we as young men, you know, we are conditioned from our households and our upbringings and our neighborhoods and whatever's around us. That's what we.
Okay, are we all there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last thing I was saying, Wes, before the phone had went out, I don't know if y'all got a chance to hear, but I was explaining to them about it's for the opposition and letting them know, like with felony murder, you know, someone can be convicted of felony murder and sentenced to life in prison, whether they had a weapon or not, whether they did the killing or not, or whether they intend to kill or not. So if you didn't kill, didn't have a weapon, or didn't intend to kill, but you participated in a burglary, robbing someone's house for an Xbox, you get life in prison. But when you look at second-degree murder, this is someone who has an intent to kill, who has a weapon, who say, man, I'm going to kill you because you punched me in my face, or I'm going to kill you because I walked in the house and you was in there with my wife. And they give you second-degree depraved heart murder or anything else other than first-degree felony murder. And these people for second-degree get 40 years. They don't get life in prison. And then you have guys who been here for felony murder for 20 years, and if you give them 40, now they still got 20 more years to do. It's still an injustice, but I think that it's better than life. So I think that's what we'd be asking the opponents, man, look at this from a broader perspective, look at it from both sides, and we understand about the victims, because we can't forget about the victims, that this a tragic incident behind senseless crime, although the deaths may be accidental, but it's senseless crime, burglarizing a home for Xbox. Someone lose their life. Come on, man, that's not worth it. It's not worth it. So I understand where they're coming from. There has to be accountability. There has to be punishment. It was created for deterrence, but it's not deterring nothing. It's not. It's only harming the people, keeping people in prison, warehousing them forever, and you know.
Yeah.
So that was the last thing I was saying.
A deterrence only work if people know about the deterrence.
The opposition.
And as far as like how we trying to move forward, we just, like I say, man, we just trying to gather as much support behind us, behind this movement to abolish this unjust law, man, or rule, whatever they want to call it. You know what I'm saying? And bring some equity to the judicial process, at least in this instance. And it's a lot of other instances we can speak with, so much injustice and equity. But right now, this is the fight. This is the focal point right here. This is something that can help so many people and try to mend so many families that's been ripped apart for actions that they didn't commit, for murders they didn't commit, killings they didn't commit, deaths they didn't commit. You know what I'm saying? Like we saying that we understand about punishment factor and being held accountable. And a lot of people been held accountable for decades for things they you know, their hands didn't do. So we just asking for fairness, for some equity. You know what I'm saying? To be responsible for our own actions. You know what I'm saying? People could be responsible for their own actions. Sometimes we gotta look outside of the situation and look at life and people as people. You know what I'm saying? If you were this person, if you was held in this position, how would you want to be treated? This is what I say to our opponents. Because everybody can in the way the felony murder is written, anybody can be a victim to it. You know what I'm saying? A senator can give her son the keys to her car. He go out and commit a crime with his friends. She spend the rest of her life in prison.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like is no sense to the way that these rules are created or even enacted. Like the way they use it is they say it's supposed to be a deterrent, but it's not. Because all laws should be a deterrent, but crime is still committed.
Right.
You can't say I'm gonna give you life in prison for something you didn't do as a deterrent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When there's so many other laws that's created to be deterrents, but they're still broken.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's not a deterrent, especially when probably 85% of the people I would say probably 90% of the people that's locked up for felony murder had no idea what felony murder was before they caught the charge.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like how you gonna be deterred by something you don't even know exists?
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
The logic of that doesn't make sense. So we trying to get people to see this from a human perspective. That you got human beings, man, good people that made bad mistakes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got good people that made bad mistakes that's looking for an opportunity to right some of their wrongs. A lot of these people want to come back to society and do good. They want to start nonprofits. They want to build up their community. They want to talk to young people to help them avoid these same mistakes that they made when they were young. You know, they mentor people that they sent back to the streets that are doing this work already.
Right.
They just want to be there and help them do the work, continue to do the work. You know what I'm saying? That's what we say to our opponents, man. Like, you got good people who made bad choices when they were young men or young women. You know what I'm saying? They were influenced by certain things and certain people. You know what I'm saying? And now they grown, they've learned, and they're trying to mend some wounds. We just asking for a chance. We're asking for the opportunity.
Everybody deserves redemption, man. No matter whatever the crime is, you know, everybody do, because all of us make mistakes. I remember when I was upstate in prison, the lifer told me I was thinking up like 20, 21. Told me 5 months into your life sentence, whatever you was mad about, whatever you're over it. You know what I mean? You're over it, and that stuck with me because that made a whole lot of sense. Because a lot of those feelings are temporary. Anger, being upset, is temporary. Like a feeling, a negative feeling is temporary. It's just not how you feel all the time. Whatever, all emotion. And in those emotions, we can make mistakes. Because we're human. Everybody do. Everybody. Every group. But yet, you see where we end up. For all of them. And even mistakes we didn't commit. You got brothers like y'all in there, sending brothers out here. I mean, even from there now, getting the message out. That took work to do what you're doing now. And this to show the redemption. This shows the unfairness. This shows the redemption. It shows everything that we're talking about now. And why this law need to be changed.
Right.
I could feel it in my soul. I couldn't imagine, getting life. I don't even know how to process that at all. I can't process that. So,
but not even just, if I can chime in for a second,
yes.
Not even just getting life, Larry, but getting life for a crime that you didn't commit.
Right.
And that's the thing that people need to understand about first degree felony murder is you don't have to kill anyone to be convicted of this and be sentenced to life in prison. And I feel like the more people that really know what this law is, I feel like the more people will speak up,
right,
in regards to its change. You understand what I'm saying? Because
right.
when people hear felony murder, they just think, oh, well, they killed someone, so they deserve to be in prison for life. But that is not always the case. And the majority of the time, that's not the case at all. I am totally for, being responsible, for your actions and the things that you do, whether we like it or not. If you choose to do a certain thing and you know that there are consequences behind it, then you need to face the consequences of that. But to have to face the consequences for somebody else's actions, that is, I don't feel that that's lawful at all. It's totally unjust. Charge me with the crime that I committed. Let me be held responsible for the role that I actually played, the crime that I actually committed, not the crime that someone I was with committed. You know what I mean? It's not right to say, well, since you were with someone and that person, did something and now somebody lost their life. Now you have to spend the rest of your life in prison for his mistake.
Right.
I don't agree with that at all. 100%. You know what I mean? It's not right. It's not. And for a human being to not understand that, you know what I mean? We're not saying that you shouldn't be held responsible for the things that you did. No, you definitely should. If that means spending 20 years of your life in prison for a murder, or 40 years of your life in prison. 20 or 40 years, of your life in prison for a robbery you committed, then you did that. You got to eat that. Mm-hmm. But to have to spend the rest of your life in prison for a murder that you did not actually commit, it's wrong. And I feel like the more people understand what this felony murder rule is, it doesn't mean that you killed anyone. It means that you were involved in, like what Wes said, a separate crime, a separate incident But in that incident, someone lost their life. Doesn't mean you killed them.
Right.
You know what I mean? You shouldn't spend the rest of your life in prison for that. And that's why it's just really important, especially now, you know, with this legislative session going on and these bills out, Senate Bill 0585 and House Bill 1180. That's why it's important. 0850, I'm sorry, Senate Bill 0850 and House Bill 1180. That's why it's really important for, you know, the people to kind of get out there and let their voices be heard. You know, that's why it's important for people to show up at Annapolis. You know, even because, you know, a lot of people really, you know, don't feel comfortable getting up and talking in front of. I don't. I'm gonna do it though. I don't feel comfortable at all, but I'm gonna do it. You know, because it's for the betterment of everyone convicted of this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why it's really important, especially at this time, for people to let their voices be heard, because it's a time for change, and change can happen, and now is the time. So, right. You know, if everyone can go on the Maryland General Assembly website, like my husband said, create an account, go to witness sign up section, and there's going to be a drop down box underneath of the bill number, and it's going to say favorable with amendments, and unfavorable. That favorable with amendments box needs to be clicked. And if, like you said, if you can just write, you know, it don't even got to be a one pager. It can be a one paragraph. I'm in favor of House bill or Senate bill with amendments, you know, to either make retroactive or to affect those ones already affected. You know, just
right.
something that states, you know, what you're favorable of. But even if you can't do that, just favorable with amendments, because I'm pretty sure they know what the amendments are.
Right.
We want retroactivity. You know, even though this law should be abolished completely, not just for under 25, it should be abolished completely, but especially, you know, for under 25, because like the men said, there is studies in brain science that prove that a person's mental state and their brain is not fully developed until about the age of 25. So, you know, they really can't hold them responsible for another person's actions. And that's what felony murder allows. It says that you're responsible for somebody else's actions, and that's not right. So.
And I would just want to say real fast that for the listeners, man, for the parents that have young kids, whether son or daughter, it's easy to get caught up into a felony murder. You know, if you have a child that's hanging out with somebody that's riding in a car with people that's drinking or anything, like you need to let them know that they need to be aware of their friends and they need to be aware of what it is they're involved in. You know, because embracing the lifestyle of criminality at that young age is like the most popular thing to do. They smoking, I'm smoking. I'm buying drugs. Now you in the lifestyle of criminality. You buying illegal drugs and you hanging out with the wrong crowds. And now you are creating friends that you really didn't have a chance to vet. They are your friends by default.
Yep.
An example of that is if I come and I bring Wes and his wife and my wife around you, Miss Larry, and now you say, oh, we your friends, and then you bring three people, now those are our friends, and that's how the groups are built. So it's not no thing about being at the age we are now. We really vetting our friends and like, this is the type of friend I want. I don't want a friend that do. At that age, you don't have a clue. You know, you find yourself caught up in these cycles, man, of criminality. Next thing you know, you got a life sentence because you was riding in the car with somebody that went into a store and did something, and you sitting in the car, you don't even have a clue, but you come out, you got life in prison. Or maybe you've been asleep so high and drunk that you was asleep and didn't know what they was about to do, and then you wake up to a life sentence. So that's what felony murder allows, and I think that the families, man, the mothers, the fathers, the older brothers and sisters, we need to start talking to our youth now while they're young, so they don't get caught up in this trap. Because it's easy to go outside and hang outside and steal bikes, and while you going to steal a bike, someone dies, someone lose their life, somebody get hit by a car, the police shoot at you and kill an innocent bystander. That's still life too. The police can shoot and kill someone innocent by shooting at you while you're committing a felony, and that's felony murder. So it's no way to escape the unjust law of it. And it attacks from all angles, and it mostly affects our black youth and our women. So please advise your children, advise your older siblings, the older brothers, the oldest, like, to talk to the youth, talk to the youngest, the cousins, talk to them. And let them know, man, be aware. Explain to them what felony murder is and how easy it is to catch this charge until we are able to get this abolished from murder law. So I just ask for the support, man, of the listeners, man, the families, the friends, to come out and give some support on March 2nd. Come down there and vote. Come down there and lend a voice. Go online, and if you can't make it, go online. Or if you can make it, try to contact somebody on this podcast, and we have someone that'll provide a ride for you. I think we have a lady named Miss Gwen. She's actually providing transportation to go down to testify on the bill on March 2nd. So if anybody that's listening that want to go down that needs a ride, that don't have the ride, she has a van service. She's willing to come pick you up and take you down there and bring you back. So that's just an option for anybody who's there. All you gotta do is contact Larry and get the information.
Yep. DM me. Comment on the YouTube video, whatever. Do the Instagram, whatever. Wherever you see the video, just leave a comment, and I'll get right back to you. Definitely. Yep. In closing, anything else anybody want to add?
I just want to send my thanks to you, bro, for giving us this platform, allowing us to get this message out, man. I'm just hoping that we can shed some light to the community and society on what's going on. A lot of times people just unaware of the injustices that's happening around us. They see a guy, he go missing. They don't even know what happened for real. They don't know he got a felony murder charge. He's gone for the rest of his life because of something that he didn't even do. They just hear a story. Don't even know the intricacies about it. So I'm glad you're giving us this opportunity, bro, to really reach out beyond these walls and speak to the people.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
I appreciate y'all for taking the time.
What's going on here and how we got here.
I appreciate y'all.
Man,
This is a form
like
of giving
you
back,
also,
man.
And I want to encourage, man, everybody, all the listeners, man, if you see something wrong with felony murder, man, please speak out against it. Please support us, man. Please contact Mr. Larry via YouTube or Instagram and try to get down here so we can get down here and put some votes up, man, and get this stuff up.
You have 30 seconds remaining.
I really want to thank y'all for your time, man. Thank you for listening.
I appreciate y'all, yo.
Until the next time, man, y'all be blessed, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, peace out, bro.
Alrighty, man.
All right, peace.
Hey, Larry, I think they're gone, but thank you. I really appreciate it, sir.
The cameras
Really appreciate it.
both cameras had died. So send me some pictures so I can use for the rest of the part when the audio come. I'm gonna get on top of this tomorrow and start editing it to get it out right away so people can see it before March the 2nd or whatever. And I'm gonna get on there and do what I gotta do or whatever. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to go down there because I'm taking off a week next month, a whole week next month because I'm getting married. So I ain't gonna be able to go down there.
Oh wow! Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. But I'm gonna say this though.
You're welcome.
This was it is like he brought it into perspective for me, especially given that second degree murder comparison. Like the whole reason, like the whole idea of law is not even argued in the situation of felony murder. At least, with just murder, you could argue like different stipulations. Well, I was feeling this way, or this happened that caused me to do that. And, and we could probably get a lesser sentence. In this case, it's like, boom, this is what it is.
With felony murder, you cannot.
And that's messed up.
Yep. With felony murder, you can't.
That went through my soul.
Mm-hmm.
That went through my soul right there.
You know what? It's a law that it shouldn't even be in Maryland law for one. Like Wes was saying. And the 15th, I think it's 1957 or something like that. Not even 19, but way before then. England abolished, and that's where it came from. England, they abolished it. Right. They knew something was they recognized something was wrong with it, and they abolished it. And there are a few other states that have done the same, and there's a lot of states that reformed it as well. Right. But I think and there's actually 4 states that actually just abolished it completely.
Right.
And I definitely feel like Maryland should definitely be number 5.
Yeah.
So like I said, I thank you for
Yes, ma'am.
I thank you for giving us this time, and shoot me your email.
Yes, ma'am.
Text
I
me your
will.
email address,
Yes.
and and I'm gonna shoot you an email with specific directions on what you need to do when you go on the website. Just to kind of make it a little easier for you to navigate. I have
Okay.
everything, kind of written down on what you need
That'll
to do to
work.
create an account
Yes.
and what you need to do to, to place your vote. I'm not sure if you let Wes's wife know about the picture, but if you want, I can text her too and have her text you a
Yeah,
picture.
she can send me a picture. I got a picture of him online. I found a picture of him online.
Okay.
However, if she want to send a picture, that'd probably be better. At least somebody picked the picture out for me. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But that'll work
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
And all that information that you email me, I'm gonna send you my email. Once I hang up, I'm gonna put that in the description as well of the videos.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna post it on Instagram,
Yeah, definitely.
Facebook, and on Rumble, and on YouTube.
Okay.
So I'll get all those links when I'm gonna do clips. I'm gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna do a bunch of different stuff. This gonna be my focus, and everything I do, I'll just send to you, whatever the case may be, and I'm gonna do my part. And
absolutely.
And
I
the platform
that.
is always open to y'all whenever to talk about whatever. So just let me know.
We definitely
I appreciate y'all time.
that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.